Hello, and welcome to our presentation on why kraterocracy is the best form of government. So, first things first, what exactly is kraterocracy? Well, it's a rule of strong. However, there's a long laundry list of conditions to allow this form of government to actually be successful. First, government figures must be decided through tournaments. This limits the amount of fights that government officials get into, and it mitigates the risk for injuries, allowing them to carry out their jobs. Next, we would need to have different brackets for different positions in government, such as positions in Senate or Cabinet, so people can really go for the position that they want to be in. Furthermore, these tournaments would be held every 4 years to allow the government to cycle out for new perspectives to influence the government.
Let me quickly explain how these tournaments will work. First of all, there are 3 different tournaments for any given role. There is a city-wide tournament, a statewide tournament, and a country-wide tournament. The city and statewide tournaments will be based on the last person remaining in the bracket. It is also important to note that in order to move on from the city to the statewide tournament, you have to be the last person standing, and from the state to the country, the same thing. However, there are some exceptions. For example, becoming a member of parliament does not require for you to win a countrywide tournament, instead only to beat everyone in your state. The countrywide tournament is determined differently, however. Rather than being the last person standing, it depends on who has the most wins at the end of all fight. This means that it is technically possible for you to not be the last person standing but still be able to become a president. It is important to note, however, that if you are knocked out of the bracket, this does reduce your chances as you are no longer able to compete in matches and thus will not let you get any more wins after you are knocked out. One more important fact is that these tournaments will have a weight class. It is not just whoever is the strongest overall, but instead who is the best pound for pound. Now, let's take a closer look at the rules and regulations. As previously stated, tournaments will be held every 4 years, and there will be a separate tournament in municipal, state, and federal levels. Participants are not allowed to kill, maim, they are not allowed to abuse drugs, nor alcohol. This includes performing enhancers such as steroids or TRT. Participants with a past criminal record are also not allowed to compete. Different tournament brackets will also be made for different government positions. These may include different types of fighting styles. Finally, if a winner comes out with severe brain damage, they cannot serve.
Then, we would have 2 separate leagues, which are separated by sex, and would have a 50-50 split in government.
A system of checks and balances will be implemented in order to ensure that the government is fair and balanced. If both heads of state agree on a bill, then it will pass. However, if one disagrees, then it will go on to the legislative branch, and they will further decide. In this case, it will either be the Congress or the Senate. So what are the benefits of kraterocracy? Kraterocracy ensures that government leaders are both physically and mentally capable individuals. This helps address certain criticisms towards governments such as the United States, that their leaders and ruling class are old and senile. Fighting requires a lot of mental activity and intellect, ensuring that the best fighters are also the most mentally and physically capable of ruling. Pictured to the right is professional boxer Mike Tyson, playing chess with bodybuilder and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Pictured to the left is boxing champion Manny Pacquiao, playing chess in order to prepare for his boxing tournament. Here's some examples of the efficiency of kraterocracy. Manny Pacquiao, professional boxer and a senator of the Philippines, has contributed to 50,000 COVID test kits being delivered into the Philippines. During his tenure, he has enacted 31 Senate bills and 4 laws. Pictured on the right is Arnold Schwarzenegger, former governor of California, who has had an extremely successful political career. In this picture, he is shown meeting with George Bush. Another benefit of kraterocracy is that it ameliorates economic and social limitations against participation in politics. It allows for more diversity to be represented in government, more varying perspectives to be shown in this government, and people of different classes, races, and social groups can be represented in politics. This prevents the overrepresentation or underrepresentation of certain social groups, which can be seen in the status quo in many governments. For example, Fighter Francis Ngannou, MMA fighter, born into poverty, labored in a sand mine in Cameroon before he traveled across the Sahara Desert to France in search of a better life. He gained success through his MMA career. Manny Pacquiao, former boxing champion, who was born into poverty in the Philippines, but rose to success due to a successful boxing career. Shown on the right are two politicians, both born into wealth. Another perk of kraterocracy is that selling tickets to fights for money can generate tax revenue for the state and thus relieve burdens on the taxpayer. While this would not be obviously the main revenue stream, it would help greatly to relieve the burdens on the taxpayer. Also, it would sell like crazy, because imagine how many people would pay to see Trump versus Biden fighting in an MMA match.
I know I certainly would. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.